Together, later, Trouble, Julia car, trouble, Polar car, Joa to Soda Brule, Joa Chin Soda Bale, Pajo Joya the Lay, Joa Choma Bale, Sravoni, Migun Tongu Uti Bido, Sadhu Letri Pausa Bido, Yogi Tanadima Shibjagavare. Did each other not how we do? Guru Tio, Atolushi, go on eat the vocal somehow. The K. Judging a since in Nandiane, Joyo since Okani, Mabio, don't tell us to port it or the Bawa lady body. Jajana Titoya. And yet, you want on the Adikin or the Sarawali. The Gubatan Tare attack only. Machito Busra. The great issue, she died. Titora never is where you carry Chotora. Madame thinking, Aro. Tia body. Tiarego Suelan without Tiari Puras Tia Suelan and Lemsido, Tia Jora Lemsido Gurule Manale Dora Hello Gurule Manale also Vido Gulu Dripta Bona Tiari Atura Maro Tiatu Desura Kuku Pale Sura Tia Tutti did not look at the war. Go, Tutti did not look. Power clear as I'm a power. That's what we are good. She did it. Say, by me, she will not say. It had a piece on the come out. Gurega, the clear sheep. Nanayo Giari, what? It's only to 12 already. Tila Dapare, so I only Amagaje Peter. Eddie Amagaje, Yuji de Poguriero. Didi Jaja. You did see Sasa Bayamana. The logo, me no taboo have it a lulu share. Ye, many dream were 2 years later. Bama 2 years old, so no. Muji reaction in it, Power Sadaru election in it. Taro Mamia will appear 21.
A few days ago, Sayadawgyi spoke about the lifting. When the lifting occurs, who is the lifter? What is lifting? Why does the lifting occur? Sayadawgyi addressed these 3 questions and explained them in theory and practice as much as possible, so that the yogis would understand. If one listens carefully and practices effectively, then one will understand very well. If we know what in fact is really there, the series of intentions to lift, and the series of physical qualities involved in the lifting, such as pushing from below, becoming tight or light and going up, then doubt is removed. The belief which one initially had, that there is a self or a soul, is no longer there. That belief is removed at once by knowledge. Before, when one didn't know correctly, one held on to what one thought was there and spoke according to one's belief. But now, because there is no more attachment to what seemed to be there, One no longer speaks based on that belief. One understands correctly through one's personal experience. It is to experience things as they are that we practice Satipatthana. The practice is really self-research. We do it in order to know what we are. There is no instrument used. The Buddha said that if the factors are developed, one is guaranteed to know mind and matter. One is guaranteed to know how they are related as cause and effect. For those with faith in this guarantee, if they work respectfully, with meticulous care, and without stopping, valuing the practice, within a few days this knowledge can arise. If knowledge does not arise, it can be because of lack of faith or lack of respect for the practice. Although one doesn't ask the question, the answer is obvious. For one who observes at the moment of lifting with respect and meticulous care, with continuity, if one sees this series of intentions to lift and the series of physical lifting up, the series of matter that occurs, one knows that lifting is just that, just mind and matter. One knows exactly what is there as it is. Thus one knows there's no lifter, there's no being, no man, no woman lifting. Although one hasn't read about this, if one practices according to the instructions, what one finds is in accordance with what is in the text. So try and see for yourself. Try to work respectfully and carefully, and in a few days you will come to know mind and matter, nama and rupa. Why does lifting occur? This question remains to be answered, it remains to be known. And today's Sayadawgyi will explain this in terms of theory and practice.
ကြွရုပ်ဖြစ်ဖို့ရာအတွက်အကြောင်းဖြစ်လာပါတယ်ကြွခြင်းတဲ့စိတ်အစဉ်စဉ်ကြောင့်ကြွရုပ်အစဉ်စဉ်နဲ့ကြွတဲ့ခဏနဲ့ကြွခြင်းတာကအကြောင်းနာကြွတာကအကျိုးရုပ်တခါကကြွနေတော့မှကြွခြင်းတဲ့စိတ်ကလေးတွေပြတ်သွားရင်ခုလက်မှာရက်နေတာရှိတယ်ဆက်မကြွဖြစ်ပဲနဲ့ရက်နေတာလာတဲ့အခါချတဲ့အခါရိုးသွားနေတဲ့ခါမှလည်းဒီတိုင်းပါပဲစိတ်ကလေးတွေအချိန်တည်ပြီးတော့ပြတ်သွားတဲ့အခါမှာရှေ့ဆက်မသွားတော့ဘူးအဲ့ဒါလည်းရှိတယ်ခုလည်းပဲကြွတယ်လို့တေချာစူးစိုက်နေတဲ့အခါမှာတစ်ခါကြွကျင်တဲ့စိတ်ကလေးတွေကကြားမှာပြတ်သွားလို့ရှိရင်ဆက်ပြီးတော့မကြွဘဲနဲ့ရက်နေတာလေးဒါလေးကျုံရတတ်ပါလေကြွကျင်တဲ့စိတ်အစဉ်စဉ်ဆက်ခါသွားနေမှဟိုခလုံးနှိပ်ထားလို့ရှိရင်တကြိုးကနေပြီးတော့ဓာတ်အားတွေစီးဆင်းပြီးတော့ပံကမှာသွားပြီးတော့လှုပ်ရှားနေတယ်လို့ပေါ့လေတခါမှာမင်းကမလာဘူးမိမလာဘူးဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ပြတ်တော်တာရှိပါတယ်မိကလုတ်ကနေရာမကြဘူးဆိုလို့ရှိရင်လည်းဒါလေးတွေကရသွားတယ်လည်းရှိတတ်ပါတယ်သူကတော့အဲ့ဒီသဘောမျိုးလေးလိုပဲကြွကျင်တဲ့စိတ်အစဉ်စဉ်ကအားနေသွားလို့ရှိရင်သူကလည်းနှေးသွားတာပဲကြွကျင်တဲ့စိတ်အစဉ်စဉ်ကတခါရက်သွားလို့ရှိရင်လည်းသူကလည်းပဲကြွမှုကလည်းပဲရက်နေပါလေရှိမဆက်ဘူးအဲ့တော့မှသူရှိမှသူဖြစ်တာသူမရှိရင်သူမဖြစ်ဘူးဆိုတာပေါ့လေအကြောင်းနဲ့အကျိုးသူ့အကြောင်းနဲ့သူ့အကျိုးရှုနေရနားလည်လာတော့တာပဲ
Because of observing carefully at the moment of lifting, one knows the series of intentions to lift and the series of matter involved in lifting. When one knows this thoroughly, this series of intentions, the series of physical matter lifting, then one understands that this series of intentions is the cause for the lifting to occur. The mind, the consciousness, the intention to lift causes the lifting movement. So the intention to lift is the mental cause, and the lifting is the physical result. And if while we are lifting up this series of intentions, the mind is interrupted, then the lifting stops. It doesn't go any further. And it's the same with the moving and the placing. When the momentum of the mind, the intention to lift or to move or to place, is disrupted, then the movement stops. Sometimes this happens when one is focusing intently. The intention to move just stops. It's similar to when we're operating a fan and we press the switch, the electricity flows and the fan turns. But sometimes there's a power outage. Sometimes the switch can't be turned on at the main switch, or sometimes the switch is out of place. So similarly, this can happen when we're lifting. If the intention to lift is weak, then the lifting process itself will be weak. And sometimes the intention just stops, the stream of intentions, and therefore so does the lifting. Only if the intention is there does the movement result. So one comes to understand, as one observes, that each cause has its own effect each effect occurs due to its own cause.
The great Yamago, you doesn't losing Bido Nilan is Shapuegama, Nilan Mayavi, the great Josa Poco solution. Chown a Joe, yet negative Ila. To the chair, a good lord. Jordan Carview, Toya Tailion to the body. Toadeka, Yadeka, Taineka, Ideka, Guide Sandeka, Edia Savido, to walk out with what they do. A good Shiro Jordan, a few body, but I was judging the sickly at Sapora. Kuna Close Military Kajaro, Tajura Matari, ceasing video. Banka Sushala, the body. Pavillo look at the layers of the body. Close later, Tajua and the video, Tali, the win. There go to my George Naga, a Chowna, Toraga, a Chew Yokes of the body. I told you to walk all of it. The George Ekana, George Naga, a Chowna. Choraga a Joyo a Chowme Moho Fools or a Chowne Hotels or a Tisha of it. The Dioga say Kail Pilayadam Hohu. The Goyi Dioga to Juase Sovido, Kaiti Tamataram Hohu. Panzinga Moho Fools or a body. Dioga Panzitari have Moho Fools or a Tisha of it. Eddie Kama position so that you saw body. The Goa she gave up. The Jonah to Jonah to Joe. She got TV solution or the Jonah the Jury Penny also. Shindor. The Cha Sekuye Pandita Joan. You saw a little bit of but who am I so willing for Go Pilgor?
If one really wants to see the true Dhamma and searches for a method and applies this true method with effort and energy, one comes to see cause and effect within a matter of days. Observing, walking, sitting, standing, lying down, the main postures, observing actions such as bending and stretching, it's easy to understand this cause-effect relationship. In order to lift, first of all, there's the intention to lift, which arises. It's like pressing the switch. Pressing the switch, and then electricity flows bit by bit, and the fan turns. Why does the fan turn? Because the switch was pressed, and because of the electricity flowed. So the intention to lift is mental cause, and the lifting is resultant matter, the matter which results. At the moment of lifting, what lifts, the lifting is resultant matter, and the intention is mental cause. It's not without a cause. There is a cause for lifting. It's not ordered by somebody else, and it's not commanded by a supreme being. No creator is doing this. And this becomes quite obvious at this stage in the practice. Most people initially have a belief in a creator to begin with. But if this view of a creator was there to begin with, it is removed when one sees cause and effect. and other imaginary causes that one might have thought of, these also are removed. These ideas aren't removed and no one removes these ideas or these beliefs. They fall away automatically.
yogi mati dora. Erekma, Ruama Pansina Mohu Suravali. Hodagaro, Jauna Jove Sravali, Jose Kalama, Dada Shide Sravali, Nanitore. I do the work of Galuchi and Goga. Jauna Ju, Jauna Ju, Matiti, the Gushi Yoga, Pansin Tadrolo. It was where she did about it. My hope in a less sweat about it. Eddie is to a level of carriage to the other. The Yoga Pansin Tadrolo body. Among the teachers, we quavered or she lived at a dear machito. Teachers, some such a commentary without a dear machito. Etima. Chow Joshi already did our solution. Nago to law, and we went and we met tea Suravali. Teachers of Somsan and a half. The Karashin or teachers of Somsan in Orava. Oh, Joy of Singa. Georgian says, Singa, Kita, Mamma Suravali. Teachers of some such a child. Era Nyama, Era Koga Nyama.
Just as there's a series of intentions to lift, intention to lift occurring in a series, following the intention is a series of lifting matter. And because of the series of intentions, there's a series of results. So yogis who practice respectfully know this. There's no creator there. What is there is just nama and rupa, mind and matter. When one understands this, the belief, before one knew that relevant causes lead to relevant effects, that cause and effect are that things are related by relevant cause as relevant effect. Then, before this, there could be the belief in a creator, or the idea that we were made by another being. So, before one knows things as they truly are, clearly and exactly, one isn't able to come to a decision about this. There's what's called vimati, which is doubt, the inability to decide. But when one sees that there's a series of intentions, mind, causing a series of matter or lifting up, then one knows in a decisive way, and this is one's own personal knowledge.
Guru Letu Shiri Pukuriha Purabata and you can't have a Atta Swagger Shiri. Hilido Atama Kovare Palito Atta Shiri. Kuna Atashiri, Kongli Shidrolo Pukutatu Shidrolo. She did the teacher Yogi Tara. Any account lego, Tapanga account here, Atagia body, so Tara. Do a tie so tight to Zawa, do a mate lower the Lulu. Atagiza, you see the Lulu, she the rest is your young Kitavade. Any sweaty sugar, a dear sugar, but the Gualong while I'm seeing her.
Those who do not have practical experience tend to believe that there is an atta, a self. Whether one is a Buddhist or not, this belief, unless one has practical experience of cause and effect, one will have this belief. And this atta is like a controller that tells the person to sit down or stand up or whatever. This is how people tend to believe. And this, in previous times, this belief came from India, and it exists all over the world.
Yogi is Buddha Pit. India got took the journey them. Nayaya called it Jamha. Atama Jolly, tell you how Atta Jolly. Edali to Shogido, Shilimbiazi.
So, for the general knowledge of the yogis, Sayadawgyi would like to summarize what is found in the Indian texts called Nyaya about this thing called Atta, or self or soul.
Babilo Joshin Lenta, there's the Voido Buddha, Anatta Vara Lekashitua. Nata Sura through Yodalo, Atta Moho travel, Niso Tower. Typically, Boa Kore Yonan Tiama Leve, through Yodalo, Atama Mashi traveling. You live in Niso Tower. Another look, Mankane house, so can have it. Another Divoya, the another to the Zanga, Bear people are the later. Poido, let me the art of the Pokuri, saw little the Pokuri ha, that it did him,
So why should one explain about this? The Buddha preached the doctrine of anatta. He said that there is not an atta. And if we want to know what this means, then we should know the meaning of the word. At the time of the Buddha, people believed firmly in this, held firmly onto this belief in atta.
But what do you adibally sap for Tavara? Yana Tikarana Matare Yana Tikarana Suraga Yaya Tia body. I think Yaya Tia. Do they go Tiri Aleria? Now that's what they go Tiri. There is an electricity over the to the theatre Quachava. The Etinia Tiaha Atabe Etinia, the Atam view of Pierre Atam Pavane, at this same Mache, Atinia Mache, Edalutua Ata Tayuku Portavare.
First of all, atta is described as jnana adhikaramata, that atta is the place where intelligence is established or exists. All beings have this atta, but their knowledge differs. And where knowledge is based is this atta. Knowledge occurs, knowing occurs, because there is an atta. And without this atta, knowledge cannot arise.
SADHU daughter, tu got the music there, the attack the music there, the new query there, the new Jiwata got the new Paramata got the new Jiwata Soraga, attack of your Tatawari machine there. So Shazin Hine, that the new Bolitama, era Jiwata let the Sovara Toro. Eri Jiwata go take up my penny, a Paramata, she did. That was a Makona take clay pare. Eri the clay go, Kona, Tanajoka, Paramata, she also tried. Misu, Jasu, Nasuna. Saso Savoli, Tiso Ti, Joaso, Lanso, Chaso, Chasra, take up my Dailena, the Jiwata lay at the sea. Hello, Namyotrua, quite Havare, Jiwa Atagatamio, Parama Atagatamio.
The text continues, SADHU do. This atta there's two kinds. Jivata is one, and Paramata is another. These two kinds, and this Jivata is the life force. It's what makes beings move. And above that, Jiva Atta, and commanding it, is Parama Atta. So if the Parama Atta says to see, then the Jiva Atta sees. If the Parama Atta says to hear, listen, hear, then the Jiva Atta hears. If it says smell, then the Jiva Atta smells. Taste, touch, lifting, moving, placing, in all these things, the Jiva Atta follows the commands from above.
Through my shin at a cool go quebia tavare. Isero to Namurega Isero Isora body. So yare the Kabalon body. Temekavaji, Temekavaji was she did me total neo. And my shin is a she tatua muse on you. Carava Isora. Hindi Iswara Kwa Iswara Soya Nide Paramata Sapi Yure to go for Tavarama. Tijari Malamia Kono Tija Era Paramata look for the
Among these two, they each have their own individual qualities. Tatre Saro. The first quality is Isra. That means that it rules. It rules the whole world. Living beings and non-living. In Hindi it's called Isvara. And this is the Parama Atta that rules. It's also called Sabanyu. That is, it knows everything that is to be known. It's omniscient. And this also is describing the Parama Atta.
Pero eko eware. The Kureza vere, the Kureza vere, two piabe machines to the table. The local so own area Atajia, Paramataja, the Kureza vere. Piabe machine, the level to a chichu taber.
It's also said, Eko Ewa. There is just one. There is no other being like this, Parama Atta. It rules the whole world, and there's no one else like him or her.
Because Sayadawgyi Rahitore, Druma, Chanda Resura, Tetongata Chites Raletuma Mishule, Duka, Matemata Sienism Shihule, the Revetura Kobu Tavare, Feria Adi Sati Zero, Puntana Zurale, Pelu Puntana Shire, Shira, Ture, Shire, Teres, Ravali, Pelu, Nate Hazaram Shihule Sati.
It's also said sukha dukkha-di rahito. That means that this being doesn't experience any comfort nor any discomfort. And in addition, it has no form. It's not known whether it's a big being or a small being or what shape or anything.
The local Soyade, Tijari Manamia Kolotire, Plain Babishi to Kureta, Chanta Seye Puntana Sati Mashi, Edrotio for Tavare, Daga, Paramata Aji Chao through Kyoto Rava.
So this being rules the world and knows all there is to be known, is omniscient. There's only one, no other like it. It experiences no suffering, no pleasure, and has no form. All these are described as the qualities of Parama Atta.
And now Jivata Ragaro, Teshin Atta. Tattva Raima Shidi, Tekali. Tattva Raima who shows say to the tipping Maroma, Ikingaria Kore, at the Shida Lodi Savare, Idiagaro, Tavaro Elma. Chiwata, Patisri down. Tattva Kure Raima. Kure Raima. Pino sort of Quavia, China, the sort of table of Tavo. A tea, Matuja Ubo. That's over. That was they at a table. My presently a table with Mata table. Sinia considered to Atachi. That was a light body, a tea to a quet hour at a man. Pino to Java.
And as far as the Jiva Atta, the life force in each being, and also in trees, this was believed in India. It's said that this is Patesarirang, that each body has an Atta, a Jiva Atta. And this is Beno, this is different for different beings. So for example, if the being is small, like an ant, then it has a very small atta. And if it's a large being like an elephant, it has a big atta. This is how Jiva Atta is described.
You don't know who are like we put Alongo. Nambito tea, Alunkian Hana the Kare tea. The level so. Pimana tea, so Along to a soya as a table. The sheet that was from the piano tea, a cow level, a take only soya. That was a few the a few would have a corona, a colony of a sick kindly. A tag of a sick kindly, that's all. To a tie so tight, so tap. Also, 12 yes, so yeah, 8 so 8 so the body. that is say kainira. The Lebeto Jiva Atale computer.
And further, it is said that this Jiva Atta is Vibhu. That means it's sort of like an umbrella over everything, over the whole being. But in essence, it means that it's the controlling faculty of the being, the individual being. So whatever the being does is commanded by its individual Jiva Atta, whether to sit or stand or walk or lie down. So this is how people believed. They believed that the Jiva Atta controlled each being.
Nale nare tele tire the change Yogia Piasidora. Tawakona Atalium Piasibu de Duaro. Nature Chatra, Yena do a shini there. Dubua Pidolo, Tabua, the Dolochi, the Atalia Mateude. Joko eat the Lua to a life of Mateude, to a shini there. The child Yokuma Pyamura to a Piapian, I do level through you Savaya.
This individual being got sick, got old, would die. So the physical form dies, but the Atta, the Jiva Atta, does not die. It's said that it is permanent, Nicho Cha. And at the end of the life of any being, the Atta doesn't die. It doesn't follow the being in death. It just goes to another body. And this is how people believed about the Jiva Atta.
For the Kaitama, Jaunet Joe, Nanayo, Jaunet Joe, Cesabito Pitao, Shirirago, Desha Tigelushi, you did it, Sai Malushi, the word 29. Georgian says in Nandia. Joy says, Ogani, don't be not dinner, don't be not dead. Yodia says it. The girl she go quite TV solution. Nana, you quite never. Poco Tatua, Ho, Husra, you jam home, Mimam Hosra. Kona Jiwata Maho. Tashin Dora. Tabalo, Josegana night. Choraga you. George Nagana, Choraga you. Atago, take home Moho. Pora Nana yo, the Pora Nana yoke. Two teaching Lochi, to rope was a Shuma Quay. Kona Mianwa they keep your. The care she go, Kulu Nine. Shuma Pido, Madiro, that is Jiwata as well. Machucha, hello, Shenivada. Other Atati Quavito, Yona, Bajati, Atati Quavit, Seshu Kama, Georgian says a Joe. Joy says a Josa, Jona, Jona, Joe. Quiz shooting at the vocal love is Lucia. Georgiana, Georgina, a Jona, Joraga, a Joyo, a Joma Maho, or a Jona Fita. Georgiana says, Joyo says, Judy Chinera. A Jona Fita. The Jona, the Joe, Guru Pita is Lucia. Masai Joe no Yahu. Kuna Pramata Gia, Joyce, I may be a Mishivu. To a Lavido may be Yahu. To a Bella may be Georgian and say Mishido, Joyo Piano. The Georgian say Sensing Pieta, Joyo, Sensing Judia, Pichia, Saya Jomas or a take Shanida, Shao Shao Malo, two Jonah to Joga. The two Jonah to Joe Chipon Dilla with the Russia. Kona, you must have the Kendra. We must teach around the Guaro. A Jonah to do Jonah to Joe Matikin Aro. Fancy, teach the Lolo. Jump up with a twillion, fancy, she has a swear every winter. She the Lulu, a swear, we must teach her. She has Suragaro Daro. A use at the Yolo, so I
So if one observes at the moment of lifting, cause and effect are really there, they're really happening. And one can know this within a week. One can see that there's a series of intentions which are mind, and a series of lifting, pushing up, becoming light. And if one sees this, then one will know that there's no being, there's no woman in this, there's no man. The belief in this is removed. So what is, in the moment of lifting, what lifts is the body, the intention is mind. There's not a woman or man, not a being, a soul. The lifting is just body and mind, or mind and matter, nama and rupa. If we note and know when they arise, we remove the view of self. So if one doesn't observe this, then it's not possible to remove the belief that there's a self. But if one observes, comes to know mind and matter, comes to know how they are related as cause and effect, that there's the intention to lift and the series of lifting movements. When one continues to practice, one sees that the series of intentions is the cause, and it leads to the series of lifting up, a series of matter involved in lifting up, which is the result. So only a relevant cause can lead to a relevant effect. The intention to lift leads definitely to the lifting. The intention to lift is the mental cause, and the lifting is the resultant matter. It's not without cause. Each thing happens according to its own cause. And when one sees this, then the idea that there's another thing causing it can't possibly, one doesn't believe it, this can't possibly exist. So we know that there's not a being commanding not to lift, for example. If the series of intentions is there, then there will be lifting. No matter, it's not a matter of another being commanding. So when one knows cause and effect, then doubt, which was previously there, is removed. The doubt that, does this happen because of a creator? And sometimes we've read about this, so we have a belief that there's a creator. So doubt is when we don't know for sure what is the cause, and a belief in a wrong cause can happen following on doubt.
Bukututa aya, a guru Jose Kalama, Taga Jove, Taga Jove, Jona Jua, Bali, Bali, Sudaboli, Diluro since I visited Maloya. Since I visited Lolo Cheno, the gay Kubanyamia. Since I Yanga, since I won at Ramutuaro, the gay she Jose Kalama. Chaudia Judia Lamdido, the Yogi Taonga, Dramu Poga, say outside, take a yes or Shumapatra, Dave, Dramu Polaluchi, Yegri Joda Savido, Songore at Lee, say Asayame, Tinakayam, Eddie Lopashi, do you bomb you? Every she negotiates secretly at Tashin. Take it Tashin. The Pickers of Piosia, Lova Lempo, Doda Lempo. Lugine Lova Lempo, 6 years ago, Monju de Doda Lempo. Tu Noga, Michandare, Domnata Sura Lempo. There they can it out. Take it Tashin, Pikin, Piosia case of Pikin. Tashin, Chichi, Julia. Yuna Namio, Jona Ju, Dio Mambare, Judian and the dear Permazo, Queti Lame, Edicama, Atama Kore, Perma, Jiwatama Kore, Swatu Konana. Jona Ju Matire, Permatamas, I use Havo, Eda Electric. Jona Ju sets up with Chili, I got a tea. Trouble Boga, say outside, take a yes or Shimapa. Say later, she, Pique, Conjure Mamba. Yuna Namio, Jona Ju, Tio Mamba, Tigo Tila Mamba, Loni, Da Yoga and Dime, Madira Mashi, Grosolo, Amakande. Loki, you did a Loki, Konya Twima, Tiania. Junia Gola Bokure, so you don't yet win of Yadora Shide. Come Luchalua. Don't look you up.
So, one has general knowledge that in the lifting, there's cause and effect. This is cause, this is effect. But there's no need to reflect in this way as one tries to observe, because reflection is not one's own personal knowledge. Reflection is not able to know mind and matter as they are. The yogi's responsibility is simply to apply effort and accurate aiming at the moment of lifting, to apply effort so that one is able to observe from the beginning to the end of the lifting, and to apply aiming so that the mind is focused accurately. There's no other responsibility that the yogi has. And if these two factors are there, aiming and effort, then the mind is pure and free of fault. Pure means that wanting or lobha can't arise, dosa can't arise. There's no wanting, no anger or frustration, and no feeling of unhappiness that is associated with these, domanassa. This is the immediate benefit gained from the practice. When one knows cause and effect, then the belief in a jiva atta, a self, and a parama atta, a creator, can be removed. Sayadawgyi said several verses in Burmese, and I'm trying to remember how to say them in English. So, we have to observe at the moment of arising, and when we do this, we come to see mind and matter as they occur. When we observe mind and matter, we come to see that they are related as cause and effect, and to know this is correct. So it is guaranteed that if one works respectfully and carefully, that one can come to this knowledge within a week. Some people who are quite intelligent can come to this knowledge within 3 days. So try to do this work and see for yourself.
Dhamma parikaha jnana le so bare Dhamma parikaha lo do thongta bare Dhamma kulu shu ya ne pi do Yogdhamma Dhamma di 2 ပါးကိုပိုင်ပိုင်နိုင်ဖို့လေရရှိလိုက်တာတဲ့ပရိက္ခဆိုပိုင်တော့ကိုယ်ပဲညာဖြစ်သွားပြီကွာဆက်ရှုလို့အကြောင်းနဲ့အကျိုးသိပြီဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ပိစ္ဆယပရိက္ခဟာလို့ခေါ်ပါတယ်ယုံနာတရားတွေအကြောင်းနဲ့အကျိုးဆက်ဆက်ပြီးတော့သိသွားလို့ရှိရင်ပိစ္ဆယပရိက္ခဟာညာနဲ့အဲ့ဒီညာရသွားတယ်တဲ့
These first 2 knowledges that one comes to develop are called, first of all, Dhamma Parigahanyana. That is, when one observes and comes to see very, very clearly mind and matter, or nama and rupa, one comes to possess this knowledge of the Dhamma. So it is called Dhamma Parigahanyana. And then, continuing to observe, one comes to understand cause and effect. This is called Paccaya Parigahanyana, the understanding of cause and effect relationships.
ဒီဉာဏ် 2 ပါးရတာဘယ်အကြောင်းခံတယ်လဲလို့ဆိုတော့ကမ္မစကတဉာဏ်ကမ္မစကတသမာဓိကြီးလည်းခေါ်ပါတယ်ကောင်းတဲ့ကိုယ်လုံးအပြုမှုကကောင်းကျိုးမကောင်းတဲ့ကိုယ်လုံးအပြုမှုညစ်ပတ်တဲ့ဟာမကောင်းကျိုးရတယ်လို့အဲ့ဒီအတိစိတ်ဓာတ်အဲ့ဒီဉာဏ်လေးရတာပါပဲအဲ့ဒီစိတ်ဓာတ်အဲ့ဒီအတိဉာဏ်ရှိတဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်ဟာအကြောင်းနဲ့အကျိုးညီညွတ်လို့ရှိရင်ကောင်းကျိုးရတာကြီးဖြစ်ရမှာပဲဆိုတဲ့ယုံကြည်ချက်နဲ့ပေါ့လေညွန့်တဲ့အတိုင်းတိတိကျကျယူသည်လေးလေးစားစားအထုတ်လို့ရှိရင်ဒီဉာဏ်မျိုးတခဏလေးရလာတတ်ပါတယ်အခုပြောခဲ့တဲ့ဟာတွေဟာယူသည်အထုတ်တဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်ရဲ့အနေငယ်အတွင်းဒီဒုတိယဉာဏ်ရပုံလေးကိုSADHUနဲ့လက်တွေ့ပေါင်းစပ်ပြီးတော့သင်ပြရတာပါတဏှာကြီးရှိသွားတော့ဒီနေပါပဲရိုက်ကြဖို့ဆိုနောက်နေ့တွေကြာမှာပဲSADHUနဲ့လက်တွေ့ပေါင်းစပ်ပြီးတော့ကြောင်းကျုပ်ဖြစ်ပုံတွေဆက်ပြောပါဦးမယ်ဒီပြင်အခြားအကြောင်းကြောင့်အခြားအကျိုးတွေဖြစ်ပုံကိုလည်းပဲတစ်ဆက်တည်းဆက်လက်ရှင်းပြပါမယ်ဒီနေ့တော့ဒါပဲတော့ကြအောင်ဆို
What is the cause for these 2 types of knowledge to arise, for gaining these 2 types of knowledge? It is the understanding of kamma as our own property. The understanding, it's called in Pali kamma sakta samaditi. That is the understanding that when one does something good, when one acts or speaks or plans something good, it brings good results. When one acts, speaks, or plans something bad, it brings bad results. And people who have this type of understanding, if they practice, people who have this type of knowledge, understanding that their good actions, speech, and mind bring their good results, and bad ones bring bad ones. Trusting in that, they undertake the practice and work respectfully as instructed. And doing so, they can gain this knowledge very quickly. And going from here, from that knowledge, within a few days, they can gain the second type of knowledge. So, in the following days, tomorrow Sayadawgyi will speak about other ways that cause and effect can be experienced besides what he's discussed in both theory and practice. That's all for today. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.